What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. My name is Oe, and today I got some movie news for y'all. And of course, I got my co-host Dustin with me. We're going to be talking box office numbers. We're going to be talking More Trouble in the DC Universe, helmed by James Gunn. And we're also going to be talking about some new releases that are coming out this Christmas weekend. First, let's lead with Avatar, the box office numbers. It's almost the end of its first full week at the box office. And of course, it dominated its first weekend, but there are signs of decline. Dustin, what are the current box office numbers of Avatar, The Way of Water?
So The Way of Water right now has it at 600 million plus worldwide, 183 million domestic, and that is, I think, just a couple hours ago.
Okay,
so it's pretty good. It's not bad. It's not like
not bad.
Great.
I did see some articles. I think it was like on Forbes magazine or the Hollywood Reporter that's saying that it's underperforming and that even Disney is losing stock because it is underperforming. Because also you didn't include the China numbers yet, but I guess it really underperformed in China. It made like what, 50 something million?
Yeah, 57 million as of Sunday, which is it's underperforming in China, but people are saying there's like COVID involved with that. The theaters are having a hard time getting people in there. So that sort of, I mean, I can understand why the numbers are a little bit low over there, but still overall, it didn't have like this breakout thing that everybody has. Now there's people that still predict that it's going to break the 1 billion mark. And there's
it will definitely, it'll 100% will break 1 billion.
Yeah, it'll break the 1 billion mark, but then there's people that are still there's a fewer people within those people that think there's gonna be at least 1.5 billion, which will top Top Gun. Top Gun's still standing strong at 1.4 billion plus as of right now. So if it hits the 1.5 billion, it hits it to number 6 all time, and it gets it to the number 1 spot of 2022. I am pessimistic about that number. I don't think it's gonna hit it's gonna hit the 1 billion.
Yeah,
it's just,
of course.
I don't think it's going to hit the 1.4 billion.
It's definitely going to make over $1 billion. But the question is if it could reach 2 billion. And I think it needs 2 billion to reach its budget. Yeah, it needs 2 billion to like break even altogether.
I don't think it's going to hit that.
You don't think so?
No,
it's banking a lot this next week, especially Christmas weekend.
Yeah, the Christmas weekend is going to be his last hurrah because it's got some competition. It's got Puss in Boots, and then it's got Babylon. So you got a little something for everything. You got something for the kids in Puss in Boots, and then you got Babylon. If you want to be a little bit older than that, it's Margot Robbie, and who else is with Margot Robbie on that one? But it's Margot Robbie, so
it's Margot
we'll just worry about Margot Robbie. But that's the most memorable thing for me. But other than those two, then you got Avatar, which is already started a week before, and with that though, I mean the reviews that I see sort of rounded off the same way that we talked about in our review. It's like great visuals, you got to see it in IMAX 3D, and the story's mediocre, blah blah blah. So a lot of people sort of agree with that. We weren't way off on our reviews as far as how we thought of the movie, and there was a lot of people that felt that same way. So I'm not sure, going into this Christmas weekend, if it's going to have that big thing. I mean, I could be wrong. People could still, you got a lot of family in town. You've got 3 hours to waste.
Yeah, I mean, it's I mean, do you really? I mean, Christmas is such a exhausting day, especially for parents. Yeah. Do you really want to, take them, spend 3 hours at the movie theater, or maybe you do? Maybe to take a break from your kids in Christmas, you take them to a 3-hour-long movie where they could stare at the ocean. But yeah,
you could. But also, but again, you got bigger competition, or at least substantial competition with Puss in Boots and Babylon.
I think even Top Gun got re-released, it's in theaters right now, so. They could still be competing against Top Gun.
It could still be. So I think it's gonna definitely break the 1 billion, but the Top Gun is 2022's top movie. I don't think it's gonna hit it.
It might not even top the Marvel movies. It might not even beat Black Panther or Doctor Strange, which is number 2 and 3.
I think it's a blemish already on the new CEO of Disney, Bob Iger.
Bob Iger,
right?
yeah.
Bob Iger, and
he was the previous. He was the previous owner, and then he stepped down right when COVID hit because he saw the shitstorm coming. He stepped down in perfect time, let the other dude come in, and then when he kind of failed, he stepped back in, and he's going to be the savior again or whatever.
Yeah, but he's going to step into a loss as of right now. I mean, Yeah, with Avatar is the first big baby. It's going to be a loss according to a lot of experts out there.
I don't want it to
Mm,
be a failure because I did enjoy the movie. It's just a little too long and boring in some parts, but I want it to succeed because I want 3 and 4 to be better. And I hope James Cameron is,
Well, it has
paying
to be
attention
better.
to all this. So
It's going to force their hand to make it better because
yeah,
if they
exactly.
expect
Step it up.
Avatar 2 to really change the game again, and then it's not changing it the way or at least rapidly, uh, the way they wanted it, or hopefully, or hoped it would be. So 3 and 4 have to be better.
Yeah.
It has to be better.
Yeah. Hopefully
So
the story and the writing will match the visuals in part 3 and 4 because a combination of both of those, yeah, it'd be an awesome combination. So hopefully
yeah,
James Cameron gets 3 and 4 right.
what
So
what's
that's
scary for me is that Avatar 3 and 4 has already been it's already
filmed.
been filmed.
Yeah.
So how much back to the drawing board type of stuff and back to the cutting room floor they'd have to change if producers and Disney say we got to turn a big, really big profit with these next two movies coming up. So
Or
if it's
maybe
already
they could
been
take more
filmed,
time and film more scenes. Like it's not set in
yeah,
stone, but they do have, I'm guessing, a lot of footage to choose from and a lot of effects to fine tune or whatnot. So yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, it's still up in the air if it's a failure or not. I mean, it's kind of half and half at this point,
yeah.
but
My
it's
biggest gripe of it was it was just too
yeah.
long, a lot of fluff. So I'm
Yeah,
hoping with
it was
Avatar
really
3,
self-indulging. There's a lot of
yeah,
self-indulging scenes
it
where
was.
it's like, all right, I mean, I want to see, what this story has to offer. I had a fun time exploring this world, but let's get the story moving, James. Let's get the story moving.
Yeah.
So
So I think for Avatar 3 and 4, is like I gotta hopefully they go with a less is more approach.
yeah, less is more, and bring in a more interesting antagonist, not just
Yeah.
the same recycled villains. So, all right, that's our box office news on how Avatar: The Way of Water is doing. And we're going to move on to another topic that we like talking about. That's we did a video like last week about Wonder Woman 3 being canceled. It's
Hmm.
kaput. And since then, so much more news has dropped since then. I'm talking so much more news that just pisses me off. It put me in a bad mood, but you know what? I'm an adult. I can handle it. Since
Hmm.
then, Henry Cavill fired. Henry Cavill's fired. Cameos of Henry Cavill and Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman in the Flash movie scrapped. And the
Hmm.
biggest news this week was The Rock finally responded. The Rock has been in the thick of all this
Hmm.
DC news with James Gunn and everything. He's been in the thick of all of this because of Black Adam that just released a couple months ago. But The Rock came out with an Instagram post kind of detailing his meetings with James Gunn. You got that Instagram post,
Yeah,
Dust?
yeah, and this is something that I wanted to talk about, or wait, at least wait, because this came out a few days ago. December 20th is when it came out. Yeah, so a couple days ago, and I was waiting because with the announcement of the DC universe being shook up and being rebooted, I was like, okay, where's the Rock's response to this? Because he's really quick on social media
Yeah.
to put responses on there, and he was kind of silent. And I'm going, oh, there's no response from this guy. So as much as I love him, like, what's going on here? They have a team meeting. So he finally put one out there. I'm not going to read the whole thing. Everybody's probably read this already,
Yeah. We're a
but
little late on it.
yeah. Well, I mean, we wanted, I know you needed time to cool off, but I know he basically just said he had a meeting with James Gunn and the DC leadership, and basically, moving forward, Black Adam is not going to be part of at least chapter one, is what he says. With the new reboot and everything, I don't think it's going to be part of it at all.
Ooh, you don't think so?
If it does, Dwayne Johnson's probably not going to be part of it.
I
You know, 'cause,
man, what a
I mean, he's gonna.
disrespect to
No,
The
why not?
Rock.
How is that? I mean, you get rid of Henry Cavill, but you keep Dwayne Johnson.
Well,
That's a disrespect. I mean,
I mean,
and
I
you
think
get
it's
rid of
all, yeah.
Gal
There's so
Gadot.
much. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're completely right.
You
There's
know,
so much disrespect going on. But yeah, The Rock came out with the statements, like you said, that James
yeah.
Gunn does not plan to include him in the first, chapter or the first phase of his version of the DC universe. So yeah,
Gal
and
Gadot's
also
on the
The Rock,
table
of
though.
course, had to promote his tequila at the end of that
Yeah.
Instagram post as well. But The Rock took it like a man. He didn't, throw any shade or anything. It was a professional It was a professional post, as was Henry Cavill's post on Instagram.
Mhm.
Henry Cavill had a pretty classy response to everything. It actually made me sad watch or reading his response, but it was such a classy response from Henry Cavill as well. And also, he's now producing and probably going to star in a Warhammer series produced by
Sure.
Amazon. So I know he's a big nerd for Warhammer, so that's probably his dream job. So I'm glad that Henry Cavill got some redemption out of all this because I don't think he deserved to be fired as Superman, and I wish he wasn't. After also the studios just showed him as Superman in Black Adam and told us that we're going to get a Man of Steel 2. They told us all this, and just to take it away within within not even what a month or whatever. Yeah, that made me really mad. And also that Gal Gadot also might be canned as Wonder Woman, and Aquaman 2 is going to be Jason Momoa's last role. I mean, all this news, and The Rock breaks his silence. But James
Interesting
Gunn is
part about
also
that, though. Interesting part about that is that he sort of got back. James Gunn got back online and said that Gal Gadot is still on for some reason. He debunked it. He heard the rumors about Gal Gadot getting the boot, but he mentioned that he got online and tweeted that he's not booting Gal Gadot. So
so
that's
it just
interesting. That's
it makes
interesting.
no sense.
You'll
Then
get your wish because I know you want to keep Gal Gadot.
I love Gal Gadot. I'll stare at her all day. So I hope they keep her. But it
Hmm.
just make. But honestly, if you're going to get rid of Henry Cavill, it's not fair to keep Gal Gadot or anyone else. It's like, what the hell are we
Yeah.
doing here? It's like, are you going to have a younger Superman, which he does plan on showing
Mhm.
a younger Superman movie, I guess. But and then you're going to have Gal Gadot, who is still drop dead gorgeous, but like you said in our other video, she's pushing 40, and she's going to be an
Yeah.
older Wonder Woman. So it's not fair to get. I mean, who am I? I'm just a peasant, right? James Gunn is the head of everything, but it's like all these shakeups. It's like either get rid of everyone or don't. But like, what the hell are we doing? I like going in with James Gunn, like the initial news that he was going to be the head of DC Studios, and that with
Mhm.
combined with Henry Cavill's return when it happened,
Mhm.
I was 100% on board, optimistic. And ever since Henry Cavill got fired, all my optimism just went down the drain. I'm a bit more apprehensive about what's going on, but like, I mean, you just got to have faith. I'm not going to root against any of this because
I think James Gunn's doing what he needs to do. Is basically he's not. I wouldn't put him in the Elon Musk yet, where he's just basically shaking up the whole damn thing, and it's just going crazy right now. He's just kind of saying, "Hey, you know what? We got to reel this in." And as as much as a great job, as Henry Cavill is, he's a beloved Superman. Gal Gadot, beloved Wonder Woman, Aquaman. What it hit like a billion. So that
Wonder
was a
Woman
very
and Aquaman
profitable.
are two one bill or yeah $2 billion
Yeah.
franchises.
So they were profitable and everything like that. But when you look at this universe, this DC universe, it's just so out there. It's not connected the same way as Marvel is, the same way everybody enjoys Marvel and everything. I mean, I've never been a comic book guy, like I've said before, but I enjoy the Marvel because it's a way for me to be introduced to these characters, and I love the fact that it's connected. It's very enjoyable watching it that way. Where you look at DC, it's not. It's disconnected. It's a disconnected thing. And one of the things that disconnected it, you were upset about Henry Cavill, but Henry Cavill never had a contract to move forward with DC. He just sort of it got finagled by Dwayne Johnson to have him reappear on at the end of Black Adam.
As you know, I'm sad about Henry Cavill being fired and all these Gal Gadot possibly not returning. I'm sad about all of that. But at the end of the day, we all have to move on. And when we do move on, here's my one hope. I hope that James Gunn just stays loyal to the core of these characters, the way they act, the way they what they represent and the way they look. I don't want to see diversified Superman or Wonder Woman. I don't want to see,
I don't think
gender
that's going to be
neutral,
that way.
whatever.
No,
Keep these
I don't.
characters loyal
Yeah,
to their,
I
source
don't.
material as much as you
He didn't
can.
do that with. He didn't do that with Guardians
Yeah, he
of the
did. Yeah, he
Galaxy.
did. Drax is.
Did he?
And also Peacemaker. Peacemaker is not.
Well, Drax was not as strong as Drax was supposed to be, from what I've heard.
Yeah, and
I know that.
Drax is a pretty epic character, but he's kind
Yeah.
of. I know Batista has like exclaimed that he's kind of like frustrated that Batista or Drax is reduced to kind of just a comic relief and hasn't had that much to do. Although Drax, man, he's got as a comic relief, he's had some classic lines in the
Yeah, he's got
Marvel
classic
Marvel
lines.
world. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I just want them to stay loyal to the
Yeah.
characters, but also there's a way to creatively, back out of all this while paying respects to the current actors from the Snyderverse era, if you would say, and Henry Cavill, Gal Gadot, and that's the Flash movie, which comes out in June of 2023. Which who knows what's going on with that? And also something that pisses me off about the Flash is Ezra Miller has been such a pain in the ass for the whole world. He's been arrested multiple times. He has allegations on him possibly being a groomer or whatnot. He's like a cultist or whatever. And they're keeping him. They're going to keep him as the star of the movie when like
No.
Johnny Depp gets falsely accused by Amber
Mhm.
Heard, who they're not taking her out of Aquaman 2. They're keeping her ass in there. But yet they're keeping Ezra Miller, they're keeping Amber Heard in these movies, and they're firing Henry Cavill, maybe Gal Gadot. It's like, how are you going to have a movies and have this scumbag star in it and get rid of like people
Right.
and actors that, are have a clean slate and are loved by fans. So that's
Well,
another.
look, Flash has already been done, right? It's already been filmed. Aquaman 2 has already been filmed.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to like let these things go. That's why I think that the time we got to talk about timeline here, like real timeline. 2023, you have all these films ready to go. Release them, make some money off of them. The Flash. I know Peacemaker season 2. I know that was a Peacemaker season 1 was big
It
when
was
it
a
came
hit.
out. Yeah, and so Peacemaker season 2 may be coming out next year, and then you have Aquaman Part 2, which I think is December. Coming out. Um, Money wise, you have to maybe just release these films and let them make money.
Yeah, but there's also a
And
way to creatively write someone's crazy ass like
no,
Amber Heard. She doesn't deserve to be in the franchise. Ezra
he
Miller,
doesn't deserve
he
it.
doesn't
Yeah,
deserve to be in the head of Flash. You could easily recasted the Flash for his own standalone movie. Make some sort of variation of the Flashpoint paradox. I know you don't read comics, but make
yeah,
some sort of variation of the Flashpoint paradox where there's a way to say goodbye to Henry Cavill, Gal Gadot, and all these characters from the Snyderverse
yeah.
respectfully, creatively. And it would have been pretty cool to see, honestly. Once they had that first slate, the phase where they're phase one of whatever DC is calling themselves nowadays, once
Mhm.
they show that sling of movies that they're going to release, that's when we could really dissect stuff. And who knows if they'll show like concept art or how transparent James Gunn will be with the creation
Yeah.
of these new characters and everything. We'll see. We'll see. Like you said, we at this point we just gotta see it play out. But all right, we're gonna move on. I'm defeated at this point when it comes to DC. Like, do whatever you want, Gunn. I'm defeated.
If they kept Henry Cavill, would you be okay with it?
Yes,
You could
100%.
just
Because
get
that'd
rid
be
of
the
everybody else except Henry Cavill.
no. I would like to see if you were to pick only like two actors, I'd want to keep that's Henry Cavill and Gal Gadot. Everyone else
Okay.
could go. I know Jason Momoa wants to be Lobo, which we talked about in the last video. That'd be a perfect
Mhm.
role for him. Ezra Miller's a complete shit show, doesn't deserve any of this.
Mhm.
So yeah, you get a new Flash, and yeah, you figure out the rest. Ben Affleck. I know James Gunn asked Ben Affleck if he want to direct some movies. Who knows if he has plans for him to return as a veteran Batman? But yeah, none of it. I mean, we like you said, we have to let things play out. But I'm defeated at this point. I can only hope for the best because I still want to see the perfect Justice League that reminds me of like the animated series back in the early
Mhm.
2000s. But anything you want to get off your chest before we move on from this
No, I think I
franchise
think
that has defeated my soul?
I'm going to connect this video together here, and we talked about Avatar moving forward. Well, Black Adam was supposed to come out, change the hierarchy, blah blah blah, and it flopped, and it caused a big shakeup and a reboot for DC, right? Avatar 2 was supposed to come out, not making the money that's supposed to be making. So how is it going to move forward with Avatar 3 and 4? So you can see a little connectivity between two movies coming out this year that was supposed to be bigger, and they came out smaller than they were expected to be, and it changed the course of the future. So it's going to be a quick. It's now, we're already seeing what's going to happen with DC because of the flop of Black Adam. Now we get to see what's going to happen with Avatar 3 and 4. That's already being filmed because the money's not as good as of right now because we don't know what's going to happen Christmas weekend.
Yeah.
But we're going to see what happens to Avatar 3 and 4. So it's going to be interesting in the
Yeah,
future moving up.
that's a good connection there. Good connection, good
Yeah.
bridge between the
Yes.
two main topics of this video. But before we get out of here, there are two movies coming out on Netflix that I'm kind of excited about. One's the Christian Bale movie. I think it's called The Pale Blue or something like that. So
Okay.
Christian Bale movie on Netflix. Count me in. I heard it's pretty
Okay.
crazy. It's pretty bizarre. So
Okay. I'm
I want,
excited for Knives Out.
yeah, the Knives Out sequel. That's the
Yes.
main thing coming out this weekend. It was released in theaters like last month or whatever, and now it's going to be released on Netflix to stream for all on the day before Christmas Eve. That's a movie I can't wait to watch. Directed by what's his name? The guy who he directed the Last Jedi.
Oh,
God, Ryan Johnson, I think. God, what is his name?
okay.
But he
I get.
in my opinion, he directed the second movie in the newest Star Wars trilogy, and he kind of ruined Star Wars for me. But I did watch a Knives Out, and he completely
Oh,
redeemed himself because I watched that movie like 2 or 3 times. I actually
yeah.
loved the
Knives Out
visual
one was
style.
perfect. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
really good.
I love murder mysteries in general, like the Knives Out series.
Yes.
The one with the Death on the Nile and the Murder on the Orient Express. I even
Mhm.
enjoyed those movies as well. I'm a sucker for a good
Okay.
murder
Well,
mystery.
since we're doing that at the end of this video, I'm gonna shout out Murderville. If you haven't seen Murderville, it's on Netflix. Stars Will Arnett. It's a really good concept show. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. You got people like Conan O'Brien, Marshawn Lynch was surprisingly very good.
Marshawn Lynch, Beast Mode.
Marshawn Lynch was in there. Oh my goodness, he was actually really good in the
What?
episode. Ken Jeong was there. You had people like Sharon Stone, and then they just came out the Holly special. So I'm shouting out Murderville. If you like some holiday stuff, if you like the murder stuff, the detective stuff, because we know Knives Out is coming out, so I'm shouting out Murderville. Check it out
What's your give a rating real quick out of 5? What do you give it for the
for
audience?
Murderville.
Yeah,
Murderville.
come
Man,
on,
it depends. I'm gonna go.
just
I'm
give
gonna
us a
go.
number.
Let's go 4. Let's go
Okay,
4 because
four,
it's a whole
four.
new concept. I think it's a concept I haven't seen before, but it's season 1, and we got some good comedy guests that
All
came
right,
on
don't
board.
spoil it for the audience.
Okay,
Dustin
all right,
gave
go ahead, go ahead.
Murderville. He gave a whole promo for
I gave
Murderville.
it a better score than Avatar.
He did. He gave it a
I
4.
gave it,
So
I gave
yeah,
it a 4.
there you
Yeah,
go. Out of this whole video, you got a little mini review from Dustin Reviews.
yeah,
Murderville, 4 out of 5. Go watch it
yeah.
this holiday or Christmas break.
Mhm.
But all right, that's the topics we wanted to talk about this Christmas. You know, have a safe Christmas, safe holiday weekend. We're gonna eat some delicious food.
Yep.
Hopefully, watch some good entertainment. And yeah, we got the Knives Out sequel, the Glass Onion out too. So we're definitely gonna watch that. Maybe we'll review it. But yeah,
Mhm.
other than that, have yourself a happy holiday, folks, and be sure to comment down below on anything we talked about. And also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel as well, and ring that notification bell. Merry Christmas, you filthy animals. We will see you all next time. See you.